Hi, I've made this video for you today for those that suffer with disc bulges, but also for those, even if you haven't been diagnosed with one, quite often people have them and they don't even know. And the way they're created is often through poor posture, or maybe when we've bent over to pick something up and our little disc, our little cushioning disc in between our vertebra pops out. So to kind of give you an idea of this, if you can kind of imagine this is your vertebra and this is the soft little cushioning of the disc in between, what tends to happen, so as you bend over, that pushes itself out, okay? And when it pushes itself out, it causes spines to malalign. You lose that structural stability and support. But what it also does is impacts on the neural pathways that run through your spine. It can be quite painful for a lot of people. So today I'm going to give you some little tips and ideas on what you can do. And I've got a little bit of fun stuff here. Sometimes if your kids have balls hanging around, or maybe you got a small ball, but even on a fit ball you could do this. You can start by opening up the vertebra. So you remember the disc kind of pushed itself forward and out. Well, this is kind of a nice way to get it back in. Not that that literally happens, but you want to encourage what we call the extension movement. And if you lie over a Swiss ball or a fit ball, and you loosen up your back just by extending over. So I'm not bent over, I'm actually arched over now. And that kind of just helps the spine to prepare for some of the moves that we're doing today. The other way you can achieve this is through a pool noodle or a roller. And to do this, you would position yourself, for girls it'd probably be around your bra line, okay? For boys just kind of the back of the shoulder blades. And we're going to lower our head to slowly come down and rest. And for some people, you might start here where your arms are here. You might end up here, or you might end up in a position where you take your arms back. And once you're in position, you kind of just breathe out and try to relax through the bony structures of that upper spine, okay? And then you might wriggle down a little, okay? And you might find a different area or a different position as well. So you just lie there and kind of breathe it out. All right, I'll give you a quick demonstration on the roller, and then we're going to get into some exercises to do for a disc bulge. So again, with the roller, very similar to the pool noodle, but it's going to be a little bit more intense. So I'll kind of get people just to support the base of their head and breathe it out. You could do this with a really thick towel and roll it up firmly and do a similar movement, okay? And you just kind of end up trying to release and relax into that back extension. Again, finding different areas. It's harder if you go further back like this. That's just going to make you feel really, really uncomfortable if you're quite tight through there. And a lot of us are tight, and I'll tell you why. Is because when we tend to sit, if you look at sort of where my bra line back of the shoulders is, look where it pops out. See here, pops out. That's kind of the pivotal point where you can create some things with the spine. But more importantly, the tilt of the hips is what causes those lower disc bulges, which is where most people get their disc bulge. Poor posture, reaching to grab something and it's too heavy and it just puts too much strain on there. So we've kind of, I would suggest you do some of those loosening up to begin with, and we're going to kind of warm up into it anyhow. So I'm going to bring my mat here on an angle so that you can hopefully see everything here as we do them. All right, you're going to lie face down, and I want your elbows just by your side and your neck nice and straight and long leading into the upper back. And then from here, you're just going to push up gently. Okay, so I've still got my hands on the ground here, elbows on the ground. Okay, and I'm arching that back again. All right, and then from here, if you have the capability, you're then going to bring yourself right up, okay, into this position. So everyone kind of has a different range as to what they feel comfortable with. And we're just trying to just get it a little mobile here, and then we're going to come back down. From here, we're going to create a diamond in our hands. So you can see my finger, so the thumbs are connected and those are connected. And we're going to place this just above our head and lie down. I'd like for your toes to be together, heels apart, and feel your legs relax and drop out to the side. And then I want you to press your pubic bone gently into the mat. Engage the lower abs and feel them pull away from the mat. And then keeping the hands on the mat, I want you to press down into the mat gently and lift that head up. Now notice where my head is. It's very common people will look up. But I want you to keep your head, eyes looking down, and feel like your shoulders draw away from your ears. Don't have them up here. Sink them back, pull them back, okay? And then rest back down. So again, just working on mobility. Have those elbows out nice and wide. Press the pubic bone in, push into your hands. Keep those shoulders away from your ears. Okay? And then come back down. Try to breathe out as you come up. We often talk about knitting the ribs together now. I want you to kind of think about now, just as you lift up, just keeping your ribs knitted in a little bit. Don't sort of flare them out too much. And we're going to go one more. Should feel quite nice between the shoulder blades there. Good. So we're now going to make it a little bit more about strength, and the way I'm going to get you to do that is to not press into the mat with your hands. Just have them there, but not pushing in now. Alright, push the pubic bone in, draw the lower abs on. Now keep your ribs knitted under a little bit as you come up, and then drop it back down. Check if your legs relaxed, if they tensed up a little bit. So there's a lot in this one, I know. And again, barely have those hands pushing into the mat, okay? And I want you to think of the muscles between kind of your shoulder blades, but not the ones like where we squeeze our shoulder blades together. You've got long muscles that run down the length of your spine. They're actually working this way, okay? So kind of imagine those spinal muscles reaching up to the ceiling above you and then coming back down. Float your hands now if you can, just have them hover. And think about those muscles now as you go up and down. You don't want to go too fast, get all the right connections, legs relaxed. Recheck pubic bone, lower abdominals, legs relaxed. And a very common mistake is also people want to lift really, really high. I don't want you lifting high on this one. Good work. Last one. Eyes down. Good. So to layer on top of your back extension moves, you're then going to have your arms bound by your side. Feel free to put a towel or a small cushion under your forehead, because sometimes the nose does feel a little squashed. Head down. Okay. The other reason you might want to put a cushion there is if you're quite large-breasted as well, or if you're quite rounded through your shoulders, you might end up looking like that. So just comfortably where your head is nice and straight in line with your spine. Okay, so from here, a few things. Roll the shoulders away from your ears and stretch your fingertips and lift them off the mat just a little there. Feel like you're shooting yourself out of a rocket here on this move. Alright, pubic bone into the mat, same concept. Shrink the abs off the mat. And as we lift up now, I want you to feel like your neck is reaching in the opposite direction to your fingertips. Pull those shoulders away from the ears. And then bring yourself back down, collapse the shoulders, let it all relax. Breathe out now as we roll the shoulders back. Stretch through the fingertips, strong through those upper back muscles. Good. And my eyes are still down, we're not looking up. And then relax. 6 more, guys. Pubic bone into the mat. So kind of when you push the pubic bone into the mat, it can help level out the hips, okay? So it kind of just keeps them nice and squared off and planted there firmly as you go up into your back extension. And again, not too fast. Now we're going to do 4 more. And then I'm just going to show you a couple variations for you to add to this video as you progress. And as you start to build up your strength. 2 more. But don't rush into some of these things. If you feel you don't have the capability, then you would stick to what we've been doing here until you feel you've built up the strength. All right, so last one here. Good. Feel that extension. Nice work. And then come back down. The way you can then build up at different levels for your back extension work is there's a couple ways you could do it. So you could have your arms bent out to the side, head down, and simply bring yourself up so the arms hover up as well. That's going to challenge you just that little bit more rather than having your arms down by your side. And back. So I'll repeat that one more time. Pubic bone into the mat, scooping the tummy, level off those hips, and then come back up. Okay? From there, you could progress and add a straight arm. So the arms are out to the side. Keep those shoulders away from the ears on these. All right, connect and then lift up. And my arms feel really, really light because my upper back is what's doing the work. And then come back down. I'll repeat that again. And up. Good. And the last one I'm going to show you is we're going to go back to our bent arms out to the side. And we'll come up into our back extension. And I'm going to try to hold that back extension now. Eyes down as I reach my arms to tap above my head. Now you might not end up tapping there. And then come back down and rest. So you could do that. You could do a combination where you reach your arms across, but you pull them out straight before you bring them back bent. I'll give you one more demonstration. Good, nice work. Okay, so well done if you got through all of that. They're really good back extension works to help combat a disc bulge. Now when you have a severe disc bulge, you don't want to encourage that flexion. It's very common for people to stretch their back like this, which for most people is okay. For someone with a disc bulge, you don't want to stretch that. Provided your practitioner says it's okay, because everyone is different, you could add a rotational stretch. You could take your arms out, knees together, feet together, and just take it side to side. Okay, that's a really nice way to kind of loosen up the lower back, but again, be guided by your, whether it be an osteo, chiro, physio, be guided by their advice. And always a favourite is where you take the one leg out straight and bring the other knee across. So as I'm pulling my right knee across, I'm anchoring here with my right hand over. And I just want to stay here, breathe out and soften through some of those tight spots. And then I'm going to bring that in and I'll change sides. Most people with a mild disc bulge should be able to do this type of stretch, however, and do it safely. Now the other move you're going to add to this is also the obliques. So you can check out the back videos that I've got on YouTube, and you could do that in between. So you might do some back extension like we did here, but then you might do the obliques, the lowering back pain video as well. But I'm going to give you a couple exercises that are taken from those videos that will definitely help you as well. So if we're going to get into a 4-point kneeling position, and when you're in this position, you kind of want to keep those hands under your shoulders. You don't want to be sunk or up like that, okay? Just going to kind of find that nice position. From here, I want you to draw in the belly, scoop in the tummy, okay? And just keep a nice level pelvis. From here, we're going to take one leg out with a slight little lift at the end, maintaining that neutral pelvis as best as we can. It will move a little bit. You're just trying to control that as you lift up. Feel a bit of the glute at the back as you come up and down. Okay. The other thing that is great about this is you're not going to go into flexion of the spine. You're going to keep that pelvis nice and stable, and if it does move, it's just going to go into a little bit of extension, which is nice and safe. Okay. And if you find you're too unstable, just don't lift your foot off the ground, just slide it out. Remember that, slide it out. Okay. From here, you then add the arms. So I'm stabilizing through my left arm as I take my right arm to reach up and back down. And you're going to feel those shifting of the weight, but you've got to try and minimize it, yeah? So my right shoulder here is working hard, and my core, as I add the arm. So we're going to add the opposite arm to the opposite leg. Feel like your body's corset is on as you extend out, and then bring it back in. So someone who does have pain in the back, it's also because of the weak core muscles. So this is a great starting point to build up your core strength in a way that protects your spine. And don't forget your pelvic floor as well. That helps to stabilize through the pelvis too. One more each side. Good. Then from here, you're going to get into your obliques by doing a side plank. Side plank is very often prescribed to help with back pain. You can always start propped up against the wall, have your elbow against the wall if you didn't want to start here. Keep the elbow more under than shoulder than away. Rest your arm here, knit your ribs in, and you're going to lift up here and then come back down and then lift. And what I want you to be aware of is as you're doing this side area here, just connecting here at the top, hold and pause it there for me. Yes, your shoulder's working as well, everything's nice and stable. But just think about holding through the side there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to swap sides. It's totally up to you, and it depends on your strength. Okay. We'll start off just again moving straight up and down. Get familiar with the move. Keep your ribs knitted under. And my heels are kind of in line with the sit bones of my bottom. You know, don't have them too tucked forward. Keep yourself in nice alignment. And back down. And I'm going to progress to a hold here now. We'll go for about 10 seconds. Hold. Think about the side muscles. Shoulder. Some people, you can hold your head there if you feel you needed that support. In 3, 2, 1, and we're going to bring it back down. So we're going to go back to the first side, and we're going to try to increase the hold of your side plank. And I'm going to show you the next variation. So you can stay with bent knees if you're doing this for the first position. Otherwise, you can take your top leg out straight, knit those ribs under. I've got my eye on the clock, and I'm going to go for 30 seconds here. Okay, good. So just hold. Good. And if you're not sure if you're feeling your obliques, you could always kind of sink a little and pulse it a little. Just get that brain waking the sides. Support your head if you want to. Keep your rib cage under. All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring it down. Okay, go into the position that you like. And watching the clock, let's get ourselves into position. Okay, also, you know, check your elbow is directly under your shoulder as well. And we're 10 seconds in. So you would want to increase the time on your planks. So 20 seconds down, keep holding in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. We've got one more on each side. The last of your strength. So this is a very basic, easy way to start safely when you have a disc bulge. Feel that you'll be okay. Okay, keep holding that. And I wouldn't be adding the pulses quite yet, but they are something that you could also do to challenge your obliques, but just not in the early days. Good. A few more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swap sides. Lucky last. All right, let's go and lift. You could add your arm too if you wanted to as well. There are very many variations of the side plank, or just in general a plank. But, you know, don't progress too quickly unless you start to feel like something like this is too easy. 20 seconds down, 10 to go. Keep holding. In 3, 2, 1. Nice work. So just a very basic introduction to work you've been doing if you've just recently been diagnosed with a disc bulge, or if you have an existing one. It's nice to kind of go back to the basics and understand what's happening there. So I hope you enjoy that, and I will follow this up with another next level up where you can start to really build up on that strength for your back. It really is the foundation. Like a skyscraper, they always build the center first. Your spinal column needs to be strong. Have a great day. Bye.